Unless you're stupid or have been living in a communist state for the last while, you know the iconic 4 words in the title of this game, containing the beginning of the most confusing and complex lore timeline in the world. This is a horror game to change the future of horror. But this was 10 years ago. August 8th, 2014, this game was released to the public, and it is now August 8th, 2024. Minor flashing lights and jump scare warning. That's right, we're all old. A decade in review, Five Nights at Freddy's 1. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another video. I'm your host, The Gaming Minecart, and today we are celebrating a decade in review for Five Nights at Freddy's 1. I have a history with this game. I first played it when I was 8, and I had just gotten enough funds to buy it on my old Steam account, and I thought it would be fun. It wasn't! It changed me. Never in my life at that time, was I so horrified at something. Except for one time, I won't talk about that. Now I know that was because of me being a fucking idiot as a child, and yeah, I love this game for what it is. It's a horror game meant to spook the scaredy cats. We'll get to that later. And this game is the reason for this series. I came up with this because of this. I realized, hey, this game's turning 10 years old. Why don't I just make a series about me celebrating 10 years of video games that I play or don't play? December. But yeah. So here we are. Let's begin with FNAF 1 had 3 main mechanics that kinda stuck with the rest of the series forever, with a few exceptions. All of that. First off, the lights. These are used to create light in your camera's blind spots so you can see where the animatronics are and if they're about to gank you. The idea for its time was genius, and I still think it was very smart of Scott Cawthon to make that a mechanic. Second off, the doors. These were the only ways you could fend off the animatronics from stuffing you into a suit. Yes, that's what happens when you die. That's the death screen, is you literally get stuffed into an animatronic suit without an endoskeleton, because that's what they see you as, according to Phone Guy. Play the clip.
If they happen to see you after hours, probably won't recognize you as a person. They'll most likely see you as a metal endoskeleton without its costume on. Now, since that's against the rules here at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, they'll probably try to forcefully stuff you inside a Freddy Fazbear suit. Now, that wouldn't be so bad if the suits themselves weren't filled with cross beams, wires, and animatronic devices, especially around the facial area. So you can imagine how having your head forcefully pressed inside one of those could cause a bit of discomfort and death.
Alright, you get my point. The idea of being at the mercy of your own reaction time is something that I love in video games, and this definitely makes that happen. I don't have good reaction times, alright, calm down. One issue is the doors go up when you run out of power, which doesn't make sense, because if you don't know, gravity goes down, not up. So, that's a little flaw, but I've seen a lot of people talk about that. So, I don't know. Maybe there's just like random mechanical shit that happens there. I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, the other genius mechanic here is the cameras. These things made for an interestingly horrifying experience as a youngin'. You youngins! On one hand, they help you see where the animatronics are, but on the other hand, they drain power like nobody's business. Honestly, all the mechanics do this, but the cameras are something else entirely. Another thing I love is the fact that you can still play the game with one of these removed, except the doors, which is a great challenge for veterans. Next off. Holy shit, the characters. First off, the main 4. Chica, Bonnie, Foxy, and Freddy. Bonnie and Chica start their hunt on night 1, and they're essentially opposites of each other, and this goes for basically all of the games that they are not side characters. And Bonnie travels through the stage into the dining hall and then has an option to either go into the supply closet or the West Hall, and then has a choice whether or not to go to the West Hall corner and have spaz attacks, or the door to your office and make you have a spaz attack. I'm not going to show how this actually looks. I'll just put an image of the cameras, which with all of the Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my god. Or what I found is he just teleports around most of the time. I'm not gonna show any of the like the directions on the map. I'm just gonna show a picture of the cameras from FNAF 1 on like with a black background, because having the footage in the background while also having something in the front is gonna confuse the fuck out of people, and I don't really want that. And then it's just gonna have like what every camera is named above it or below it. I don't know. I haven't edited shit, so. Chica goes into the dining hall just like Bonnie, but instead she's a pervert and goes into the restrooms and then the kitchen, which you can't see into, but I don't know why. But we'll get into my headcanons as to shit in this game later. Then down the East Hall, where she either decides to murder you at your door and turn you into the chicken finger, or go to the East Hall corner and have spaz attack. Foxy is introduced in Night 2, spawns at Pirate's Cove, and will periodically get closer and closer to exiting the cove, depending on how much or little you use the cameras. He's only really annoying until he... Fuck. He's only really annoying because he waits until you check the West Hall, or around 7 to 9 seconds after he's exited Pirate's Cove's camera view, to become a bullet in the western hallway, and you have to quickly close the door or else you walk the plank. And finally, Freddy Fazbear, whatever you want to call him. He starts to become an issue in Night 3, and this here is where shit hits the fan. He spawns with Bonnie and Chica on the stage and will take the same route as Chica, except he's in the shadows and you can barely fucking see him. And he's barely visible until he reaches the East Hall corner, and that's when he's a real fucking problem. When he's there, I don't really know what the fuck to do, because I know now I'm not gonna be able to play the game for footage because my fucking screen recorder's a bitch. So for now, you're just gonna have to deal with the fact that I don't know. I'm assuming you just have to close the fucking door. You will die if you don't. The other issue with Freddy is when power goes down, he plays the ever so iconic nowadays Toreador's March. Yes, that's the actual name of the actual song that nobody knows the fucking name of, because nobody knows what that is. They just know, hey, it's the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 song. That's all they know. So, you're welcome, whoever fucking made that. I forget the name. Before it either hits 6 a.m. or you're fucked. If it plays before 6 a.m. and it doesn't hit 6 a.m. before he jump scares you, you're fucked. If it does hit 6 a.m., you just hit the most clutch moment in all of Five Nights at Freddy's, and you need to upload that. Next up, not an animatronic, but the phone guy.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm just gonna play some clips so you understand.
hey, you're doing great. Most people don't last this long. I mean, you know, they usually move on to other things by now. I'm not implying that they died.
So yeah, the whole gist of Phone Guy is he puts pre-recorded messages in your office from when he was there doing his job to tell you what to do, because you don't know what the fuck to do, apparently. Nights 1 through 3 are normal, but in Night 4 he says this, and you hear this.
I may not be around to send you a message tomorrow. It's been a bad night here for me. I'm kind of glad that I recorded my messages for you when I did. Hey, do me a favor. Maybe sometime you could check inside those suits in the back room. I'm going to try to hold out until someone checks. Maybe it won't be so bad. Yeah, I always wondered what was in all those empty heads back there. You know. Oh no.
You hear that sound? That's the same sound as a jump scare. So phone guy is dead, right? But there's still an extra night. What happens then? Well... Yeah, he's officially fucked. Phone guy's gone, I think. If I have to. Anyway, there's also the player, which... And this is where shit comes to reality and fucks it directly in the ass. Let's talk about the... I have a few headcanons here. None of this shit is canonical at all. Because nothing is ever simple in the series. The first thing is, I believe this is Michael Afton you play as in FNAF 1. I'm not going to explain the FNAF storylines here, so I'll make a video on the FNAF story that isn't inference in another video. Which is a large amount of nothingness. Anyway, Michael's in the pizzeria that used to be co-owned by his father to free the souls of some children who were murdered by said father. That's basically the gist of... That's basically my headcanon of FNAF 1. I know, what a fucking shocker. It makes so little sense. He wants to attempt to undo the damage his father did while getting paid, being traumatized, and getting fired. Yeah, he gets fired at the end of the custom night. Womp fucking womp, Michael. On to the next game with this. That's basically all that isn't speculation for this game, other than the fact that you're playing as Michael, because we don't know. I'm pretty sure. I don't remember whether it's FNAF 1 or 2 that you play as Jeremy Fitzgerald, but I'm pretty sure it's FNAF 1, and we don't know who the fuck Jeremy is. Underrated name, by the way. But that's basically all that is in speculation. The headcanon I had about the kitchen is that's where the bodies were originally kept, and William forgot to fix the camera after after Puppet moved him into the bodies in FNAF 2. That doesn't make sense. I'm keeping that in the video because it kind of makes sense, but at the same time it doesn't. So, yippee. So, anyway. There really isn't a skill ceiling in FNAF 1 once you beat it, and if there is, it's low. All you really have to do is check cams, check left, check right, and you're good. As for the night system, speedrunners, yes, there's a speedrun.com leaderboard for this game. I'm linking it in the description and putting it on screen now. Found a way to shorten the time between nights, and I'm not explaining it because it's really fucking weird. But that's really all for the game's skill levels that don't exist. Anyway. This game isn't scary, at least not anymore. I used to think it was scary when I was fucking 8. Now I know I was wrong. This game was the first taste of virtual fear I ever had. I hated it, but it was. The first time I got jump scared, I closed the game out of pure whiplash and unbolted a screw from the chair I was sitting on accidentally. Needless to say, I replayed it recently, and honestly, I had more fun than fear with it. Bonnie, go fuck yourself, you fucking Easter Bunny motherfucker wannabe. Get the fuck out of my location now. Okay, maybe not fun, but I enjoyed it for what it was. It captured horror back in 2014 for people playing, but not anymore after people have dissected the code and understand it. I love this game. I may not have the same connection to this game as I do, say, Mario Kart Wii, but I definitely have a connection to this absolute masterpiece of a horror game. It kickstarted an absolutely chaotic timeline of a game series. It's one of the most profited game series in history. This is one of the best games in the series on its own, which is a massive accomplishment, honestly, given how many absolutely amazing games there are in it, and the fact that it's withstood the test of time, which doesn't go for most games. Just kidding, it goes for a lot of them. But, we'll see how it goes in the next decades, right? Anyway, this game made history beyond all comprehension, but next time, we'll be looking at another horror game. A game without doors. Much more difficult than FNAF 1. Double the animatronics. Double the chaos. Double the death. and really fucking annoying to the timeline. Like, what the fuck is this? Scott, what did you do? We will be looking at Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Thanks for watching.